Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video and guided meditation on mindfulness of breathing. So today in particular, I really want to turn towards the breath, towards the breathing part of the practice. And so why do we use the breath? I mean, there's a plethora of reasons, but primarily what I want to offer is that the breath allows us to wake up from the dream of the self, the dreams of the ego, right? This constant background noise of the mind. And the breath can also be a teacher. It shows us a different way of being, cultivates qualities like patience, right? Compassion, simplicity even, right? The breath is always happening in the background of our mind, so we can use the rhythm of it to give the mind something to do, to give it a task. We live in a world where our senses are constantly impinged upon, right? Through media, through people around us, maybe ideas of what we should be, what we need to buy, right? And this leads to a mind which is constantly working in a way, trying to get things just right. Do you feel this ever? I know sometimes for myself, I'll wake up in the morning and it's like my mind is already going. And it's like, am I doing this? I didn't intend to start thinking about this right now, but this is the conditioned quality of the mind. It takes in these messages from around us, what we need, what we want. And it's not that there's no value to it, but when it becomes like this autopilot thing that's driving our life, it's not always that beneficial. So we turn towards this ancient process of breathing that has been around for millions of years, right? Respiration. It's an ancient part of nature. So in a way, breath is a means for us to return to simplicity, to nature. And there's this interconnected element of it. There's a constant exchange of the air from the world around us and our internal organs, right? So we feel the oxygen come in, it moves through the body, we release, carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. And this is happening all the time, and it's a beautiful thing. It happens from the first day we're born into the world, and it continues all the way until our last breath. And so this breathing process is beautiful in a way because we have we can impact it a little bit, right? We can take a deep breath when we need to, but also the body knows how to breathe on its own. So primarily in mindfulness of breathing, we're allowing the body to just breathe itself. The body knows how to breathe on its own and often does it much better when we're not trying to constantly manipulate it. And then we're also tuning into this quality of awareness and mindfulness. And this quality of awareness is not something we necessarily have to do, right? It's always kind of there. So we have these two things. We have breathing and we have awareness, which are innate capacities of being a human being. And when we bring them together, the mind can begin to still. This isn't something we have to force, but we're more opening into this quality of awareness, allowing it to settle on this process of breathing. And we begin to have a new reference point for the mind. Over time, the mind begins to be less concerned with the thoughts, with the projections, and it begins to settle into something more open and still. And we call this samadhi, or concentration, or unification of, the mind, of the heart, of the body. And from that vantage point, we can begin to see more clearly. Begin to see more clearly the ways that our mind goes, which lead to not beneficial qualities of mind, right? Preoccupations, worries, ruminations. And then we also begin to get a felt sense for what clarity feels like, for what ease, for what qualities of the heart, like compassion, feel like as well. So we'll do some meditation now. And to begin, just settling into a dignified posture, allowing the back to be upright and also relaxed. We can pull the shoulder blades back just for a second to allow them to kind of release backwards and downwards. And before we even begin, just setting an intention to set down having to be anybody right now. There's no need to become, to try super hard here, releasing the mind from the grip of the self and settling into awareness and the body and the breath. And as I ring the bell, for this first minute or so, just settle back into awareness and this quality of listening, of hearing to the bell and to whatever sounds are in your environment. Awareness has a receptive quality to it, receiving the sounds from our environment, and it also has an attentive quality, this ability to stay with. So now taking the same quality of receptive awareness and opening up to the body and the breath. And we can scan downwards from the top of the head, releasing any tension in the forehead, softening the jaw, softening the thinking mind, almost like listening to the body, and moving downwards, just checking in with the shoulders and the back. Upright, yet soft and open. Just allowing the arms to fall naturally. Like branches of a tree which have been bound and then are cut and released. Allowing the whole body to feel this release, to hang naturally. Softening into the chest and the belly. And being aware of the lower half of the body, the trunk, the sit bones, the thighs, the knees, the calves, and all the way down to the feet. And at the center of our experience and our awareness of this body, we open to this breath. And we can take one long, slow, deep breath. And just now allowing the body to breathe naturally and listening to the breath. There may be sensations associated with it. And there's also just the breath itself. The wind or the air rising on the inhalation, releasing on the exhalation. So just allowing this breath to be at the forefront of your experience and allowing the thinking mind to fall to the background. From the moment we're born, our bodies know how to breathe. It happens all on its own. So in meditation, we can just allow the body to breathe itself. And we listen from our hearts and from our awareness. The same wind that moves through the air outside moves through this body and nourishes and supports every day of our lives. So using this simple joy that can arise from simply being alive to help us stay with the breath. To just breathe is enough right now. In mindfulness of breathing, we're simply allowing our awareness to rest on the process of the breath. The mind knows how to be aware. The body knows how to breathe. So mindfulness of breathing is a union. It brings the mind back home. Listening to and receiving the breath can release us from the grip of having to have everything just right. Releases us from the illusion that we really have or can have everything just perfect. And instead, we open into the beautiful quality of contentment with things as they are. The mind can begin to release from grasping, from holding on. In a world which is constantly changing. As we move through our days, our senses will be impinged upon. Pleasant things, unpleasant things. The breath can teach us to be non-reactive, stable, and fully present. And for this last minute or so of the meditation, just offering yourself some gratitude. For taking the time to just be still in a turbulent world. And offering any of the benefits from this simple meditation to all beings. May all beings be free. So thank you for taking the time to sit and breathe. I think this is one of the most beneficial things I've ever learned in my life. You know, world is turbulent, at times loud, constantly changing, and the breath gives the mind a sense of relief, a place to go to recenter, you know? It's such a beneficial thing to be able to do. And I really want to emphasize that it's not something necessarily in the meditation practice that we're having to do per se and force the mind onto the breath. I really want to suggest that it's more of an opening into a quality of awareness which is already there, opening to a body which is already breathing. And from that place, the mind can stay because it's not being forced, you know? Thinking can be happening. We just keep coming back to merging and unifying these two processes of the mind and the body. So I hope this was beneficial, and again, if it is, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel out as well. And I hope to see you for more videos coming up soon on mindfulness of breathing. Be well.